Welcome to the Boston Barista, Kevin Patrick Seaver, bringing you insights about your family and the world.
Welcome to the Boston Barista. My name is Kevin Patrick Seaver. I'm a lawyer located in Boston, Massachusetts. This week's episode is all about how AI becomes a bigger part of our lives. And that means everybody. You don't have to be a lawyer to be using AI. It's in everything we do. It's in our phones. It's in our computers. It's even in our kids' toys. Because it's in our children's lives, how do we protect them from the good, the bad, and the ugly, which comes with everything? Let's be real with each other. When caveman first started, fire could kill you and also keep you warm in the coldest of nights. The same arguments we have today is the same arguments that were made also about the Gutenberg press and the printing of documents. It was the same thing I heard when we first got our computers. They're gonna do good things and bad things. True, absolutely true. Now we got the internet. Oh boy. And that's been explained to be good, bad, and indifferent, and it is. Well, artificial intelligence, AI, is no different. Speaking to a woman the other day that had children, she was telling me how great AI is. And I said, why? She says, well, I get to put pictures up of their animals, their pet dog, Sandy, and other things in the background, which gives the children familiarity, and they like that. Now, there's a really good purpose for AI. She also talked about how at the end of the day, she's tired and they get sick of books being read to them. What a nice problem to have. And she needed to make up some bedtime stories. So she had a theme and she went in and used AI to create a theme for her to be able to read to her children at nightly bedtime routines. On the other hand of this happiness plate is deep concerns by parents for their children. Now, there are all types of studies to support whatever position you want to take, that AI is good. AI is just AI is bad for our children. And no matter where you look or where you go, you're going to find that. So where is the modification or the place where we can land to make it just good so it doesn't harm our children? That's the million-dollar question. I cited some benefits to help with parents utilizing AI. And what I hear from parents and everyone alike is that AI is moving so quick, so fast. How do I keep up with it, Attorney Seaver? It begs the question, we're experimenting with it, but I don't want to experiment with my kid. Can't say I blame you. So we don't want our kids to be the experiment. Ooh, they get their hands on it, and then there's a mistake made, and like, wow, why did I let them do that? And one of the things I was talking to somebody the other day about, and it was something I thought was really, really ingenious, was using AI to help with language skills. That is a huge benefit, especially for preschoolers when they're starting to develop their vocabulary. They're learning to talk and speak. AI can be utilized to do teaching and learning for children. AI can present to parents new opportunities to teach, and children can learn skills. The downside to AI with young children before preschool is the empathy gap. That AI is just that. It's a tool. It is not a human being. AI can pretend to be empathetic. It can pretend to be human, but it is not. Children may fail to learn what social interaction truly is. When you're a human being, we have give and takes. With AI, that doesn't exist. So therefore, children learn not how to interact, how to direct and communicate with other human beings, which is social. Now, when we're dealing with children in elementary school, and you give them like a computer, a laptop, or a cell phone, they scroll and they scroll and they scroll, and it's really hard to get them off such a tool. It's no different with AI. Mom told me the other day she took away her son's iPad. She went outside for hours and shot hoops and interacted with, his peers, which he wouldn't have done if he'd stayed on the iPad. What this child did was he engaged with the world, which doesn't happen on AI. So what's the solution? Well, obviously it's to limit children's interaction with technology. Too much screen time, too much time on the cell phone, too much time on AI. It's not good for anybody, not just children too, by the way. Now, we need adaptation. What do I mean by that? We need to have some guardrails, some pedals, and some brakes on this technology. Because when it's used properly, it can be a tremendous success. But in the hands of the wrong people or the wrong child, it can be an absolute disaster. Some of the benefits is that it helps you with education. There are many ways that AI can help a child by personalizing their learning. There may be some strengths on all our children, and also might be some weakness. So you can double down on the weaknesses and help them with AI to personalize what they need to learn. It's almost like their own individual education plan using AI. AI can make learning fun and engaging. The deficits or the lack of benefits with AI can be there can be a loss of skills or de-skills, or a child relies upon AI too much and therefore doesn't develop the necessary skills. That's a problem. And this leads to lack of thinking and learning and developing the thinking skills you need to solve problems, not only in school, but also later on in life. Lack of benefits happens to be, there was a case recently where a child asked AI in California, and it was a legal case, how to commit suicide. And AI gave him the answers. And then the child went out and committed suicide. So this can be an absolute success, and it can be an absolute disaster. The first company that was worth $1 trillion was Apple Computer, led by the late, great Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs created the iPhone and also other technology things that have just blown up, done an unbelievable job. But with that said, what really struck home with me was that Steve Jobs, the maker of the smartphone, would not allow his children to have such a tool. And why was that? Because the algorithms, which now there's major lawsuits all over the country, they're into eyeballs. And that means attracting individuals, children and adults, to use that algorithm. And it's led to too much scrolling, too much time screen watching, which has led to all types of mental health issues. There's no question about that. One of the biggest problems I have is students using AI to do their work, their homework. Therefore, AI is doing the work, but the child's not learning the skills necessary. There are 3 parts to this AI experiment, which is basically what it is, because it's moving so fast, so quick. Number 1 is the government and how they can regulate, which is all fine and good. But you cannot usurp or eliminate the parental responsibility. As well as the third part is AI itself must regulate itself. So we do not have any type of fake nude pictures out on the internet, or AI telling someone how to commit suicide, which is the case in California. So it's got to be the AI, artificial intelligence companies, that must regulate this and help so we protect our children. I had a parent tell me the other day, Kevin, I don't have AI in my life. I just laughed. I said, it's in everything. It's in all the tools and, of course, the toys that your child has. It's embedded in them. You may not even know it. That's how crazy this has gotten. And I always say, either technology controls you or you control technology. Which one's going to be? Now, I want to be clear that I support AI. I think it's a wonderful tool if used correctly. What I'm worried about is what's the counterbalance to it. Like everything else in life, if you're for or against AI, you can find points on both sides of the fence, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But where do we come down on this when it comes to children? It must be both feet, boots to the ground, to protect our children. They can't protect themselves. They're not of sufficient age. It's also not the children's job. It's our job as the parents, the leaders of our society, to not only ask for it, but demand that our children not become incubators for experiments with AI. We can still protect innovation with all these technology companies, especially AI, and yet regulate the building blocks of AI to eliminate the hazards and the harms that we already know exist. I've always said that computers are the best and the worst thing ever created. And you can find arguments on both sides of that issue, as you well can regarding AI.